Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome to my channel. I talk about a lot of subjects so you don't get bored just on one. I talk about a lot of things that's going on in my life. And I'm 70 years old. I was married for 40 years and during my divorce, my ex talked me into getting rid of my Cobra. And he gave me a Cadillac. Now, at the time, I thought, oh, that's wonderful. It's a automatic. I don't have to worry about shifting gears. But I missed that throatiness of the Cobra. But in the last 5 years, I have spent $8,000. Within, I think, 6 months of having it, I had to put in a whole new drive shaft, engine mounts. That was like $3,500. Then I had to have 3 tire sensors replaced, and then brakes, then a new alternator, and it goes on and on and on. And I realized this is just a cash cow and I don't want nothing to do with it. So the last 2 months I've been driving it, I was hearing some sputtering and I prayed to God. Now, I am anal about taking care of my things. I check the oil every time I'm going to drive long distance. I even bought windshield washer fluid, filled that up, and then I was going down the road one day and my power steering wasn't working, so I pulled right into an AutoZone and found out where that dipstick was and filled that up. But this is what gets to me. My ex put a new transmission in it. Okay, now follow me on this. The dealership, the Cadillac, told me there was only a drop of transmission fluid in that transmission case. Now, it would behoove you to think, well, if you're getting a new transmission, wouldn't they have done a flush and filled it back up with transmission fluid? No, I don't think so, because in the last 4.5 years, if they had done that, why do I only have a tablespoon of transmission fluid? I don't think they filled it up. Okay, so about 3 weeks ago, my son was calling me negligent and calling me some names. Mom, didn't you check? Didn't you check? And he says, and I just went along with it, because these children think that you don't know anything. He says, pop the hood. I'm going to show you where the transmission dipstick is. And I'm just sitting there going, there's not one on a Cadillac 2008 CTS4, okay? The only way to fill it up is put it on a lift and fill it up with the filler bulb with the hose. But I'm thinking when they redid this, when my ex put this transmission in this car, that they didn't fill it up. Because here's my question. Does it take 4.5 years for all your transmission fluid to come down to nothing? I couldn't check it because I was doing all these other repairs. The money wasn't there to fix everything. I was doing it one at a time. I was very methodical. So there you go. So here is what they said was wrong with it. My old pressure gauge was not working. Okay, that's one thing. I wanted to find out which of the 4 tire sensors that I hadn't replaced yet, because I replaced 3 of them. That's very costly. So I had that done. My granddaughter replaced one of the back brakes. And then the last time I went in for an inspection, they said, oh, your front brakes are gone. Then I had to pay for that last year. Then they said, the same place said that all my 4 tires were dry rotted. Well, I think they're full of it, because my tires, I've asked a couple other people and they said my tires look good. I think I was being ripped off because of my sex, and it's so wrong. Okay, here's another thing. Engine diagnosis says it's sputtering. And when she wants all the fluids levels checked. Well, every time I go in to get my car serviced, You would think that they would check all the levels as a courtesy, but they don't. Don't depend on that. You check it yourself. So it says caused by verified concern found code P0752 for shift solenoid stuck. Also that the transmission has almost no fluid in it and has metal debris floating in what is left in the pan from being ran with low transmission will need to be replaced. That means the whole transmission. Yeah. Also, the oil pan and transfer case are both leaking a good amount of fluid. Oh my God. And so, it says the left front TPMS needs to be replaced. TPMS sensor. Okay. Well, I didn't know what it said. Shift solenoid stuck. All right. Well, I wanted to find out what the hell that was. So, a shift solenoid stick means a component in your car's automatic transmission is stuck in one position, preventing it from opening or closing properly to control transmission fluid flow. Maybe it wasn't opening and closing because it didn't have no fluid in it in the first place. Okay. This causes a variety of shifting problems, such as the vehicle getting stuck in a gear, delayed or erratic shifting, or inability to shift. This issue needs professional diagnosis. So, could be delayed or no shifting, stuck in gear, all this other stuff. So, and then I have all the codes. Let's see. There you go. All the codes. I don't know what active or history means. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. What is active and history and current? You know? So the guy at the dealership goes, well, just because we pull up the codes, we still don't know what's wrong with your car. And I go, then why have the codes? I did a whole video about this. Well, I think it's just a signal of what the computer thinks is wrong with the car. And then, of course, the mechanic has to troubleshoot it. You know, I think it's a two-step process. But whatever. The guy told me when I left, it was $180 just for that. He goes, Miss Moore, you need to try to get home without breaking down and park the car and sell it for parts. And I am quoting him. Now, I don't have the heart to throw this car on anybody with the circumstances. So I have to sell it for parts because I'm not a mean person and I don't want to, you know, make someone believe that the car's in running order. Now, I did drive it here, but this was just a lesson learned for all of you. If you take your cars in to get the levels checked, check them yourself. I know years ago I had a tooth removed. I went to Pep Boys, and this was in my Cobra, and I got an oil change. When I drove an hour and a half to where I used to live at the broccoli farm in Oak Grove in the Northern Neck, I saw this little line of dark oil. And then I go, holy crap, they didn't put the plug in. I had to have it towed. I had to take it to Purvis Ford to have them to spray this chemical underneath the carriage to get rid of all the oil. I called Pep Boys. They had to cut me a check for about $2,500. Yeah. It's just disheartening. This is a very smooth riding car and everything like that, but I decided I can't do this maintenance anymore, so I had to buy a new car. Now, and now I'm afraid to drive it. Somebody might nick it, right? So I'm the one that will park a half a mile away from the store so nobody will nick. And lo and behold, there's always somebody who wants to park next to me. This happens a lot when I'm at, like, eating at a, you know, getting a hamburger somewhere. I'll park all the way at the end of the parking lot, and all of a sudden, here comes vehicles. I don't like anybody really watching me eating, you know? So, yeah. Well, that's what's wrong with the Cadillac. But it would be perfect for someone who already has a Cadillac and who needs parts. So, there you go. Bye. Please hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the bell, the notification, and share. I've never asked anybody to share. Share this with your favorite mechanic. Bye.